Hello guys and welcome to another Daily Fix with me, Sean Paul Johnston, here in the studio, Small Fry Unify. My hay fever's playing up, so if I'm sniffing or if my eyes look red, that's why. It's an absolute nightmare, I tell you. Anyway, today I'm covering Ubisoft's E3 press conference, so I'm going to talk about some of the games they showed. I'll go over it fairly quick, I'll not stick in it a long time this one. A lot of this stuff was showed at the conferences for the game makers themselves, so for Nintendo, Xbox and Sony. So we did see some of these games during those conferences as well. But I'll jump straight into it. The first one was, they actually opened up the show with this one. It was quite a cool opening. They opened up with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle on the Nintendo Switch. And that's an exclusive, obviously, with Nintendo. And yeah, they had Miyamoto come on with Yves Guillemot. He came on stage and they had their little weapons from the game that like real life replicas, life-size replicas made up, and they were on the stage and a little bit of banter between them. You know, it was like a French guy and a Japanese guy trying to talk to each other. It was a little bit awkward, but at the same time it was cool seeing Miyamoto on stage with Ubisoft. You know, I think they've been in the press a little bit because Vivendi's potentially going to put in a hostile takeover bid, maybe even this year at some point. But it was nice to see them up on stage, and it looks good. It's kind of like an XCOM apparently. I've never played XCOM, but apparently it's got similar mechanics to XCOM. So it's like a turn-based thing where you'll move on a grid-based system and you'll take sort of kind of shots. And yeah, the Rabbids, you know, if you've played the Rabbid games, they're now mimicking or parodying the Nintendo characters. So Princess Peach, Mario, Luigi, and they've kind of got their own equivalents of them, and there's bits where they're jumping up and they're taking pictures on their cell phones and stuff. That actually looks quite cool. The next game was Assassin's Creed Origins. Now we've obviously got some rumours and leaked images of this leading up to E3. Then we heard about it during the Microsoft Xbox conference. They talked about it and said they were going to show more during the Xbox One X unveiling, which they did. And you know, it looks like an Assassin's Creed game. It looks fine, it looks good. It's set in Egypt now, so I think it's going right back to when the Assassin's Creed, or the Assassins first established. So it's going way back several thousand years. And you know, I've never been a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games. You know, I know people love them and they're enjoyable, but I just think, you know, it's just another environment, it's just another setting. We'll have to see what the story's like. You know, that's probably going to be the big differentiating factor of it. They had a bit where they had like an eagle cam, where it was kind of like the drone footage in something like their like military style games, and you'd fly over with the eagle and it'd give you a bird's eye view essentially of the area. But what I found surprising was the eagle would fly along and then you'd go into its bird's eye view and the camera would just stay static. So it's like the bird had just paused in mid-air. And I joked with my brother about this when we were watching the conference, and we were saying, yeah, well, maybe it's hovering. Yeah, it's not hovering, it's just flying, and all of a sudden it's stopped in mid-air. So I think they could have made that a little bit more believable in the transitions. If they did actually show you it hovering and then you get to look at something, just seems a bit weird, but anyway, it's not like a game breaker or anything. The next game was The Crew. Now, The Crew 2. People who played The Crew probably be excited by this. It looked quite good. It looks like they've added way more stuff into it. They've got planes, they've got boats, they've got the cars, motorbikes. It looks like they've got everything in this one. So, and it's all around different parts of the world. Again, that's like a player versus player, like 5v5, sort of kind of gameplay type stuff. Looks good, looks good. I'm sure if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll be loving it. Now, the next game was South Park, The Fractured Butthole. The Fractured Butthole. I love it. That actually looked really, really funny. I'd like to see them bring that to the Switch. They showed that off and, you know, it looked funny and stuff like that. South Park always looks amazing. And I think people are looking forward to that after the Stick of Truth. This should be pretty good. So we'll see what happens with that. They also showed off Transference. Now this was a VR game, PlayStation VR game. And it was the one where they had Elijah Wood and he's talking there like he's talking to the camera. And I think what happens is you go back in time to different points in this specific character's memory in VR. So you're going into someone else's memory and you're reliving those memories, and it's meant to be really kind of not disturbing but unsettling. So people who tried it on the floor at E3 said that they felt really uneasy, and even when they came off they were kind of a little bit awkward and stuff. So I'll be interested to see if that carries through with multiple playthroughs, or if it's one of these kind of weird ones when you play it the first time, but after that it doesn't really kind of have the same impact. But looks like a little bit of something different, you know. So, and it's another VR game, PlayStation VR game. So if you've got the headset like we do here in the studio, you'll probably be glad that you're getting more games for your PlayStation VR. So that's good. There was also another South Park game that got announced called South Park Phone Destroyer. Now that was the one where it was like you were fighting as different types of groups. So you had cowboys and Indians, cops, just like there was tons and tons of them. I think you're just playing player battle versus battle, and you're on your mobile phone. Again, I don't see why that's not on the Switch. Why it was just on mobile. Maybe it'll come to the Switch at some point, who knows. There was a kind of follow-up to what they did with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where they had the ships sailing and you'd fight as pirates. They've now taken that one step further and they've made a game based solely on pirates and on the ships, and it's called Skull and Bones. And again, it's a player versus player type game, so you've got your teams 5v5, and you go on and you'll go in teams, you'll hook up and you'll take on other ships or other armadas, I guess what I call it, and you'll try and steal their treasure. And that's what it's all about, it's getting the treasure, going in, destroying the ships and escaping when you need to and stuff. You know, this is kind of like a capture the flag, player versus player type thing for a shooter, but it's just that it's on the sea now and in boats. It looked good. I don't know how exciting it's going to be though, but something like if you think of Counter-Strike where you're playing that type of game, you know, that's really instantaneous as you move around and do stuff. I just don't know how well that's going to work on a ship type environment in the game, because the movement of the boat is going to be nothing like moving a character on screen. The next game was, this was a bit of a surprise. When it first showed up, it looked like No Man's Sky, and it was a game called Starlink Battle for Atlas. And this is kind of like an evolution of their Skylanders type games. So where you've got the physical Skylanders, but now instead of Skylanders, they're ships. So they're like spaceships, and they're modular, so you can take off the weapons, the wings, you can put in different pilots, and it's for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch as well. And each controller's got its own little adapter you can put on, and then you can just put the ships on top. Looks a little bit clunky in the sense that you've got the ship on top of your controller. I'm sure that's going to get in the way and be a little bit frustrating. And when you're watching the guy demo it, he was like trying to show you him switching his ship up live whilst he was playing. So there were some baddies were coming towards him, some of the indigenous species was coming towards his ship. So he went back a little bit to try and change his weapon. But it seemed like he was fumbling a little bit. So I don't know how good that's going to be if you're trying to do it whilst you're playing. Maybe when you set up your ship before you go into some planet or something, that might be quite cool. The ships actually looked really good. They actually looked like pretty decent quality models. I think it's something like Lego, but not as small adapters like that. Just bits click on, and you can reverse them. You can change them around. You can put different ones with different ships. Obviously, that's going to be a money maker for Ubisoft. They're going to sell loads of different ships, hundreds of little parts that go into each ship, and you know the kids will be loving it. They'll be all over that, and the parents' pockets, their wallets, and their purses will be drained dry. It's another Skylanders. I've never been a big fan of, even though I've got amiibos up here, I've never been a big fan of having hundreds of toys for one game. You know, I think what amiibos do a little bit different from something like Skylanders and even Disney Infinity is you can use these in multiple games for a lot of them. So, you know, it'd be good. The ships, if you can take them off and you can do stuff with them outside of this game, might be good. But I don't think that's what Ubisoft will do. They'll probably have it tied into this one game, and then they'll bring out another version. You have to buy even newer ships or more parts. So we'll see how that goes. But it looks good. It looks like No Man's Sky with ships. Look nice. Cool. And it's coming to the Switch and other platforms, so I'm pretty excited about that. We also got an update for Steep. It looks like they've got a Road to the Olympics, so it looks like the Winter Olympics, as far as I'm aware. They've got an update for that. no news on the Switch version, not even sure about the original version. That was announced, I said it was coming to the Switch, never heard anything since. We also got a little bit more gameplay footage now for Far Cry 5. That was obviously a big one. It looks like there's a cult that's taken over the towns or the area, and yeah, it looked quite brutal. It's like the bit where the guys were on the road and they were just whacking them with bats and their heads were like getting splattered open and lying on the ground, and you had to go down and you could team up with other players where they sent one of the players up to the water tower and they went up there and they were kind of covering your back while you went down into the front bit. It actually looked beautiful, by the way. Graphically, it looked amazing. It'd be interesting to see what it's like in person because I was watching it on the stream. So it looked amazing, and I just don't know how good the gameplay is going to be. The fact that it's got that little bit of a twist, and especially in America right now, where this is probably quite topical or quite politically relevant, where people are quite scared in America, you know, what's going on and people going crazy with guns and stuff. So it might actually be quite good in the sense that it's kind of tapping into those things on a social level. Finished off the whole show with Beyond Good and Evil 2. No platforms specifically were announced. Apparently they're working on making it for multiple platforms. It was a CGI trailer, but there was some footage afterwards, I think from IGN and other sites, where they got some hands-on where they were showing the tech, essentially the game. It was zooming out right from the planet right to space. It was a little bit sort of like stepped, but the fact you go right from the planet out really quickly like that was pretty impressive. Some people have been online saying that they're not too happy about it. It's not really like a Beyond Good and Evil game, apart from the characters, just for the fact that there was quite a lot of swearing, a little bit of a different tone. It got loads of people obviously super excited because that's something that people have been waiting for something like 18 years or maybe less than that, but I think it was 9 years since we saw the trailer for the concept footage of Jade running through the little city, which looked quite good and people were all excited about that. And it's been 9 years since that, so yeah, I think it's been like 18 years or 15 years since the original game. So people are really looking forward to seeing a sequel to that, and now it's finally getting made. It's probably a way off, and they've got their monkey program, monkey space program or whatever, space monkey program. They've got that, you can go online, you can give feedback. Funnily enough, the Switch isn't mentioned in there. There is the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and PC, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But overall, I think actually Ubisoft had one of the best showings of E3 this year. I think the fact that a couple of cool announcements in there, even though we knew about Mario and Rabbids, it was still pretty cool to see it and get Miyamoto on stage. Then Beyond Good and Evil, it was a really, really good showing from them. I think one of the stronger ones in E3 this year. And yeah, that's it pretty much. Let me know in the comments what you thought was your best part about the Ubisoft conference itself. Is there something you'd like to see them do, something more, or would you like to have seen Beyond Good and Evil further along? That's it for this Daily Fix, guys. Take care and I will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.